when you were talking about, I wanted to take control of creating my own products, my own leggings, what was the problem that you were really identifying as, what, if I take control back, I can be the one to solve this or create my own apparel?
Yeah, so that's a good question. There was not, if I'm being just completely honest, there was not a greater why when I was starting Nasty. I wasn't like planning on solving anything. This was more just like a personal thing that I just wanted to start. Compared to like Connectful or Corecircle, it's like kind of it's definitely different. Like my past startup Connectful, the one before Corecircle, that one was to solve a void in my problem from not having any like-minded uh Gen Z like entrepreneurs my age. So like that came from a problem, but Nasty Fit was just more so of like, I want to start something that belongs to me and let's freaking do it. So that's kind of it. But I learned a lot from it for sure.
Yeah. So what I find interesting about your story is, a lot of entrepreneurs, there's trial and error, right? Like I'll start a company, I'll fail, I'll start another company, and fail, or I succeed, but I go on to bigger and greater things and I started, another awesome
Mm,
company. But with you, with Nasty Fit, you started at 18, and then
mhm.
now it's a seven-figure fitness apparel brand, and your company Instagram page has over 100,000 followers. So even though you're kind of mentioning that you don't have to do as much and you're not as involved and you've moved on to another app, it's still incredible, the growth and the consistency that you've had the past few years. So from 18 to 21, I mean, frankly speaking, that's relatively young to be starting a company. How'd you navigate the emotions and pressure that might come with the scaling part of your company? Was it like certain mentality, an extreme level of discipline? How'd you handle that part of growing a company that, many Gen Z entrepreneurs still aren't in?
Yeah. The first year was definitely off slash different. Like for example, I didn't even have a apparel designer. It was just kind of me talking to my manufacturer and saying like, "Hey, this is what I want." So there was nothing actually in the first couple of months since starting Nastica. There was nothing unique about what we were selling until I got an apparel designer because I'm not like creative with drawing or sketching things out, but I'm better more so like have better creativity in the mind. It just needs somebody to like, okay, put it on paper. Um, and that part was hard. And so I remember seeing just like a couple of other uh, fitness influencers who created their own brands. And I was like, wow, they have like really cool products and all this. So I feel like that kind of like inspired me to like push harder with Nasty Fit. So I started doing so and saw great results. Like our contour collection, for example, is one of our most popular ones, and it did really well. Um, but I would say it's more so of like you just don't know what you're doing, right? If your family isn't connected in like the tech space or like weren't entrepreneurs themselves, it's like you literally just have to learn from your own you just have to do and learn basically. And that's what I've been doing with Nasty Fit. Connectful was a huge learning process. It was my first tech startup. And I applied basically all of the mistakes I've made there into Core Circle. But there's also that, like, just kind of you're a noob at what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing sometimes, and there are so many ways that you could be doing it better, but you just don't know, right? So you just have to learn from trying, and that's one of the greatest things about being young. You have a lot of time to like fail and do stupid stuff, basically. So there's that. And then the second hardest thing was definitely like when I was 18, 19, I struggled a lot with being lonely because I didn't have those friends, like-minded entrepreneurial friends in my life. And so yeah, that part was difficult because it's like you're at Barnes and Noble constantly just alone working on your stuff. Nobody relates to you. I've learned to deal with that really well. I might have probably like adapted to that, but I definitely have more people in my life, of course, especially now I'm on the tech Twitter side of things, so it's a little different. But yeah, when I was starting off, it was definitely a little bit difficult in that space with being lonely and not having people who understand.